Nobody walks down the aisle anticipating getting a divorce. But in this, the age of Facebook, the beginning of the end of a marriage is probably a good time to stop posting and tweeting.
When people first come into my office, they're usually in a state of just fear. And they're, very often angry. So I will often tell people, just don't go on social media. There's just nothing good that can come from it.
Jacqueline Newman has been practicing divorce law in New York City for the past 15 years. And in that time, the tools of discovery in matrimonial cases have certainly changed.
In the past, it really would have been very hard to discover these things. We would have been using witnesses, people that were people that told their friends certain things. We would have been subpoenaing them and asking them to testify.
Now, a lot of the investigating is done online. And Newman says it's amazing to her that people put so much information in play.
I will constantly say, why would you possibly do this? I can't understand why somebody, when they know that they're in the middle of a divorce action, you're living under a microscope at that point in your life, why you would put something out there that there's no way you can't think is not going to come back.
Legally, Facebook can be compelled by a subpoena to disclose basic account information. But federal law prohibits it from disclosing user content in response to a civil subpoena. Depending on the user's privacy settings, that content may be available to friends or may be totally public. No-fault divorce is available in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, so the value of online evidence of infidelity is minimal. Facebook entries might be useful to establish or destroy credibility in financial matters. But when it comes to child custody cases, the courts are very interested in what you've written or posted online.
I think that judges will have a lot more interest in something that's said in child-related than financially related. So if you're sitting there as a spouse that someone had ended the marriage, and you sit and say this man is, a terrible cheat, and he's a liar, and he's a terrible father, and he's a terrible this, and he's a terrible that, the fact is, people see that.
Newman had one client who badmouthed her ex online, and it wound up costing him a promotion and ultimately her increased support payments.
At the end of the day, she wasn't in a situation where, she was able to benefit from, his financial gains.
That instantaneous gratification of saying what's on your mind could cost you. So Newman's advice is simple.
I tell my clients often that when you write something on Facebook, just assume that you were taking that and you were handing that to the other side. And if you're okay with that, post it. But if you're not, I wouldn't.
Because loose fingers can be worse than loose lips. In New York City, this is Ed Alpern reporting for the Lawyers.com channel.